The Honourable David Parker.
Mr Chair, it's seldom that you see a government so willing to treat people like fools. Treat them as if they've got no idea, no common sense. You know, during that speech from David Shearer, when he was saying we're going to have trouble meeting the future cost of superannuation if we don't raise the age of entitlement, Maggie Berry interjected, "Buy some shares. Buy some shares." Buy some shares, she said, which was a reference to the SOE share sales at the moment. This government is just treating people like fools. They are out of touch. Imagine, let them eat cake. That's right, let them eat cake, Mr Twyford says. Queen Margaret. Mr Chair, the Office of the Retirement Commissioner said about 2 years ago that we needed to move on the age of eligibility for superannuation, and the Labor Party looked at it. We took it seriously. Phil Goff encouraged us to take the hard decision that needed to be taken. Not politically popular, but the right decision for our country. Really important to the people who the Labor Party represents, because our people, more than John Key, need to have the security of superannuation being available to them in the future. Our people, by and large, do not have much income in retirement other than their superannuation. And for us, maintaining the sustainability of superannuation is absolutely important. Mr Speaker, we have the government this week again throwing pixie dust around, trying to divert people from the real decisions that need to be taken by a responsible government. This is the week that we've had the government in trouble on asset sales, passed by one vote with Peter Dunn's vote in the House. Deeply unpopular in the country, and it's no coincidence that the government brings out targets for the public service. But they're not meaningful targets because they don't address the important issues. There's no target for addressing the eligibility for the age of superannuation. No target at all. There are targets there that relate to reducing violent crime within a period of time, reducing welfare numbers with a period of time. No policies to back them up, but they're very willing to promise a rainbow at the end of every street. Fictions that they take to the public but produce no accountability for themselves for the really important decisions that need to be taken, like the age of eligibility for superannuation. Mr Speaker, there's no principle lying behind the decision-making of this government, as evidenced by the fact that everyone, it seems, except the National Party, know that we need to do something on the age of eligibility for superannuation, but they refuse to acknowledge that reality. They instead throw diversions. Other diversions that have been thrown recently when they're in trouble. They say, oh, we'll have legislation for boat people. Already a crime into New Zealand and no boats on the way, but they throw that as a diversionary tactic. And then when they're in trouble on teacher class sizes, they throw another one. They say, look, we'll look at compulsory sterilisation for beneficiaries. Another attempt to divert the attention from the public that they're not addressing the big issues. It's not working with the media. The media is seeing through this, and I congratulate the media for doing that. They are not addressing these big decisions. As we've already heard, the cost of superannuation not only exceeds the total spent on education within about 4 years, it's about 20 times the unemployment benefit. So they produce a target for beneficiaries, and yet they've got 20 times the cost, or close to it, in respect of superannuation. Superannuation very soon exceeds the cost of all benefits: unemployment, domestic purposes benefit, invalids benefit, sickness benefit. Now, superannuation is not a benefit, but it is a transfer payment, and it's a cost that comes from taxes. And the government refusing to move on this just makes a nonsense at their pretence to be serious about controlling cost centres for the government. So they can't claim any moral authority when it comes to these other areas of expenditure, because they are ignoring the bigger issue which relates to the rising cost of superannuation. We need to give proper notice. We need to have fair transitional arrangements for people who are worn out by age 65 because of manual work. That's the discussion we should be having, not the discussion as to whether there is any need to move at all. Mr Chairman, the Office of the Retirement Commissioner is to be congratulated for her work.
I call the Honourable Ruth Dyson.